He just left the White House, but Elon Musk isn't holding back. In his latest explosive move, Musk is channeling Kill Bill in a direct attack on President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Less than a week after stepping down from his role heading government efficiency, Elon Musk is launching an ultimate campaign to derail President Trump's massive budget bill. On Wednesday, Musk posted an image from the Uma Thurman movie Kill Bill with a clear message, "Kill the bill." Musk is blasting the legislation, claiming it would swell the US budget deficit by $5 billion. He minced no words on X, calling it a massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill and a disgusting abomination. His message to Americans is direct. Call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. This isn't just a casual critique. Musk expressed deep disappointment that the bill undermines the very work his team was doing to streamline government. The bill already passed the House largely along party lines, though some Republicans have voiced concerns about rising debt. While Trump has lashed out at other opponents, his White House has taken a more measured approach to Musk's criticism. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated, "It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it." It's a high-stakes showdown between two of the most influential figures on the planet. Elon Musk is going all out to stop what he sees as reckless spending, while President Trump remains resolute. The question now is, can Musk's Kill Bill campaign sway enough lawmakers to stop the bill dead in its tracks? In a bold move, President Donald Trump just signed a sweeping order, once again blocking travel to the US from nearly 20 countries. Why? To keep what he calls dangerous foreign actors out. This new executive order, 14,161, targets nations identified as high risk for terrorism, visa abuse, and failing to share crucial security intel. 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, and Yemen, are facing full restrictions, deemed very high risk due to terrorism, unstable governments, and high visa overstay rates. 7 more, like Venezuela, Cuba, and Laos, are under partial bans. The White House is calling these measures common sense protections. Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson emphasized that the goal is to protect Americans from those who want to come to our country and cause us harm, specifically citing countries with inadequate vetting or high overstay rates. Trump himself highlighted the recent Boulder, Colorado attack, stating it underscored the extreme dangers of improperly vetted foreign nationals and visa overstayers. He argues that his previous travel restrictions were one of our most successful policies, a key factor in preventing major terror attacks on US soil. He also took a jab at Biden's open door policies, claiming they've led to millions of illegals in the country, from Afghanistan, controlled by the Taliban, to Iran, a state sponsor of terrorism, and nations like Libya, Somalia, and Yemen with weak governments. Trump insists the US cannot have open migration from countries where proper vetting isn't possible. His message is clear. We will not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm, and nothing will stop us from keeping America safe. The Jeffrey Epstein mystery has captivated the world, fueling endless conspiracy theories. But now, the FBI's deputy director is speaking out, and his words aim to shut down those doubts, once and for all. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino just confirmed what many have questioned for years. According to the agency's files, Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide. Speaking to Fox News, Bongino stated the evidence, including video footage, clearly indicates suicide. He stressed, "The video does show in that specific block. Nobody really comes out of that bay in that area than him. There's no one in there." He reiterated, "There's nothing there in the file at all that indicates anything other than in fact a suicide." But Epstein wasn't the only topic. Bongino outlined a major overhaul within the Bureau, declaring, "We're not the Federal Bureau of frickin' word games anymore. It's the Federal Bureau of Investigation." He then dropped several other explosive updates. Bongino confirmed the FBI is now reopening the investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic promising answers are coming. He also hinted at troubling findings from the Mar-a-Lago raid, and when asked about a double standard in classified document cases involving high-profile figures like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden compared to Donald Trump, he responded, "I think that's fairly clear." And the list of active FBI investigations didn't stop there. Bongino revealed they're also probing how cocaine wound up in the White House, the 2022 Dobbs decision leak, and even actions against pro-life protesters and parents at school board meetings. The FBI, according to its deputy director, is pushing hard on these critical, often controversial cases, ensuring the American people get answers. President Trump's massive plan to reshape American education just hit a major roadblock. A federal appeals court has stepped in, halting his administration's controversial agenda to dismantle the Department of Education. The Trump administration's ambitious push to effectively close the Department of Education, including a proposed 50% workforce reduction, has been temporarily halted. This comes after a federal appeals court refused to grant the Department of Education's request to pause a district judge's preliminary injunction. The legal battle began swiftly after the 11th of March announcement of the dismantling plan. Washington, D.C., 2 states, and then a coalition of 5 labor organizations and 2 school districts sued to block the move, fearing a catastrophic disruption to federal education functions. The appeals court sided with the lower court's decision, emphasizing that the potential closure of a nearly half-century-old cabinet department could prevent it from carrying out its statutorily assigned functions. This ruling means Trump's immediate plans for a mass termination of employees are now on hold. Republicans in Congress, however, are pushing forward. Senators have introduced the Returning Education to Our States Act, a bill that would redirect portions of the Department of Education to other federal agencies. Senator Mike Rounds articulated the sentiment, calling the DOE an oversized bureaucracy that dictates one-size-fits-all policies. This legislative effort, championed by figures like Education Secretary Linda McMahon, aims to accompany President Trump's executive order and campaign promise to return authority over education to the states. But with a federal court now stepping in, the showdown over the future of American education is just beginning. President Donald Trump just unleashed an explosive order demanding a full investigation into what he calls a dangerous and concerning scandal from the Biden White House, the alleged abuse of the auto pen. In a memo issued Wednesday, Trump called on Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate whether former President Biden's aides conspired to deceive the public about his mental state while simultaneously using an auto pen to wield presidential power. Trump claims it became increasingly apparent that Biden suffered from serious cognitive decline during his presidency, particularly in its latter half. He alleges that Biden's advisors purposefully shielded the public, restricting appearances and scripting conversations to cover up his inability to discharge his duties. Despite this alleged incapacity, the White House issued thousands of presidential documents, appointed hundreds of judges, and even granted controversial pardons to high-profile criminals, often, Trump claims, using a mechanical signature pen, or auto pen. Trump argues that if aides secretly used the auto pen to conceal Biden's incapacitation while taking radical executive actions, it would be an unconstitutional wielding of the presidency's power. The Attorney General's investigation will delve into who conspired to deceive Americans about Biden's health, who directed the auto pen's use, and for which critical policy documents, including executive orders and clemency grants. This directive comes as House Republicans are also pursuing their own probe into Biden's fitness to authorize auto pen use. This is shaping up to be an unprecedented battle over presidential authority and transparency. A landmark 2-decade-old law in Texas, allowing in-state college tuition for undocumented immigrants, has just been overturned. The Department of Justice took action, and the state's response was immediate. In a swift and dramatic turn of events, the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Texas, aiming to block the state's long-standing policy. The core argument: federal law prohibits higher education institutions from giving benefits to undocumented immigrants that aren't also offered to U.S. citizens. But here's the kicker: Just hours after the DOJ filed its complaint, Texas officials agreed to comply with federal law. This effectively brings an end to what was widely known as the Texas Dream Act. Attorney General Pam Bondi emphasized the DOJ's stance, stating they will relentlessly fight to vindicate federal law and ensure that U.S. citizens are not treated like second-class citizens anywhere in the country. This lawsuit directly stems from two executive orders signed by President Donald Trump since his return to the Oval Office. These orders, ending taxpayer subsidization of open borders and protecting American communities from criminal aliens, are designed to prevent undocumented immigrants from receiving taxpayer-funded benefits or preferential treatment. The Texas Dream Act, signed into law back in 2001, allows students who graduated from Texas high schools and met residency criteria to pay in-state tuition, regardless of their immigration status. For years, it was a pathway to affordable higher education for many. Now, in a single day, that pathway has been shut down, marking a significant victory for the Trump administration's hardline stance on immigration and a swift change for thousands of students.